Hi, I'm Shelley Jones. Welcome to Learning Math with Dr. Jones. Our Facebook group will post a daily math lesson Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time throughout the month of August.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Shelley Jones from Central Connecticut State University, and today we're going to be looking at solving power equations, but now we're going to use what we've been doing to solve some formulas, basically in geometry. So let's get to it. So I have a cylinder here with height of h and a radius. So we have the cylinder has two bases, right? There's a circle on each base. Each base is a circle, and so we have a radius. So there's lots of things that we can do to figure out the volume. But the formula for the volume is pi r squared h. And if you think about it, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we have the area of that circle times the height, and that tells us the volume, and it makes sense. If I can fill up that bottom layer and then have how many layers I need to fill up that height, then I have the volume. And the volume basically is filling up that cylinder, that can of soup with Skittles or something like that. Okay, so pi r squared h. It tells us that the volume is 226.08 cubic inches, and it tells us that the height is 8 inches. So I have a lot of information here. Let's see. The volume I know is 226.08 equals pi r, I don't know r, squared, and the height is 8. Okay? So this is the information that's given. I know the volume. I know what pi is, 3.14, but I'm going to use my calculator because I want to be as accurate as possible. So I'm not going to just use 3.14. I'm going to use the pi button on my calculator. So when we're using these formulas, you really should use your calculator for this. If you use 3.14, you will get an answer close enough, but to be accurate, you need your pi button. So I have pi times r squared times 8. Well, I don't know what r squared is, but I know in order to get that r by itself, I need to do away with the pi times r, and the 8 times r squared. So I'm going to do 8 times pi and then divide both sides by that, 8 times pi. So I'm actually just going to show it like that. To multiply that by 8 pi, divide that by 8 pi. So I said multiply, but I meant divide both sides by 8 pi. But when I say 8 pi, that's a multiplication, okay? So I'm going to do that. And in this case, the 8's cancel out, 8 over 8, and then pi over pi. And so I'm left with r squared on that side. So equals r squared. Okay, so now I want to do 226 divided by 226.08, or 800ths divided by 8 pi. And what I'm going to do is, on my calculator, I'm going to do 226.08 divided by, then I'm going to do parenthesis, 8 times second pi, parenthesis, equals. So that's telling me that this part over here is 8.99, whole lot of numbers, 54. And that's close enough. I mean, I really should just leave that in and then take the square root of that. And if I could do that, then I will have a nice accurate answer. Okay, so in this case, we learned that if I have r squared equals 8.99954, if I square root both sides, then the square root of r squared is r. And then the square root of this is my answer to r. So the square root of that, 8.99, will tell me my radius. So in this case, I'm going to say I want to take the square root of 8.9954 equals the square root of r squared. And over here, I'm going to get my answer, r equals something. Okay? And so if depends on, you know, think about it. 8.9954 is really close to 9. So my answer should be some very close to 3, but maybe just a little under 3, right? Because the square root of 9 is 3. So the square root of 8.9954 is going to be close to 3. And in fact, I'll put a little squiggly. It's 2.99 something else. So my radius is about 2.99 inches. And I really do want you to write your units, right? Our volume is cubic inches, and so our radius is inches. So there you go. So we actually use solving a power equation. We had r squared, and if I square root r squared, I get r, but I have to square root the other side as well. What I do to the right side, I have to do to the left side. And so we get r equals 2.99 inches, and that's our radius. And the question was find the radius. Let's do the next one. It says that we have a triangle, and we have the height here, the height 2 here, and then we have the base. Now this is the thing, and actually this is the base. This is the thing. In this particular problem, it says that my height and my base are the same length. It says, in particular, it says the area of a triangle with a height h and a base equal to its height is given by this formula, 1/2 height times height. Obviously, the formula should be 1/2 base times height. But because I know the height and the base are the same measure, then I'm going to use height times height. And the reason why that works out nicely is since I don't know the base or the height, if I have height times height, I can say height squared. All right, and then I can do that. So let's see. Area is 72 square centimeters. So 72 equals 1/2 height squared. So in this case, I only have one variable going on rather than having the base and the height. If I multiply both sides by 2/1, so 2/1 times 72/1 equals 1/2 times 2/1 h squared. And this 2/1 cancels out, right? Because 2/2, 1 times 2, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2, 2/2 is 1. 1 times h squared is h squared. So I end up with just an h squared equals 144. I don't need the 144/1 anymore. I did that just to show that I'm multiplying 2/1 on both sides, the left side and the right side. So 2 times 72 is 144, and 1 times 1 is 1. 144/1 is just 144. And now if I can take the square root of both sides, the square root of h squared equals the square root of 144. H equals, what is that, 12? 12 times 12 is 144. Okay? So a lot of this is what we've already been doing. Now we're just bringing in this scenario of geometry, using geometry formulas, but it's very algebraic. We're solving it algebraically, right? We're using that situation. Okay, let's do the next one. So we have a circle, and the area of the circle is pi r squared. So the area is 803.84 square feet. What is the radius? So let's see. We have the area is 803.84 equals pi r squared. Pi r squared. And that's all we really need because we know what pi is. So if I divide both sides by pi, I'm left with just r squared on that side. And if I use my calculator, where is it? If I use my calculator, Claire, 803.84 divided by second pi equals 255.87. 255.87 equals r squared. Again, if I square root both sides, and I'm just going to actually just do that here rather than rewriting it, and I end with r equals, and I'm going to need my calculator for that, 255. So let's see. If I say second x squared, that's my square root, 255.87. And see, I'm already rounding it, so it's not going to be exact, 15.9959. So r equals 15.9959. And you can round that off if you want, that's fine. So far so good. The last one I'll probably do on the other side, but let's get it started here. So the last one says, I have a rectangular prism. I have length, width, and height. It's not drawn to scale, but I have the length, the width, and the height. Let's see, what does this say? The length is 6 times the width. The height is half the width, again, not drawn to scale. And the volume of the rectangular prism or the box is the length times the width times the height, right? Think about it. The length times the width is the bottom layer. Once I get length times width, that's the area of that bottom layer. And then I times it by height because I say whatever that area of the bottom layer is, I want to keep bringing it up to that height, all right? And it says the volume is 2187. Well, actually, let me do this first before I move it over. I have 6W. I have 6W times W times 1/2 W. Okay. Let me get it started on this side. Why is it 6W? 6 times the width. So since I don't know the width, I'll start with that because it's telling me that the length, I'm talking about the length in terms of the width. So I have to know the width first before I can figure out the length. It says the length is 6 times the width. So 6W is my L. So length times width times height. The L is 6W. Let's see, the W is just the W. I need to know that. And then it says the height is half the width. So there you go. So if I have 6W times W, I have 6W squared. And I want to times that by 1/2 W. And in each of these cases, that's volume equals. So I have 6 times 1/2, or 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have 3W, W squared times W is W cubed. And that is equal to my volume. And my volume is, where is it? 2187. 2187 centimeters cubed. And I can actually just finish it on this side. If I take I have to divide both sides by 3. So you see that? I still have that 3 in the way. I don't know if you could see that. Let me do that, okay? So here I have 3W equals, I'm going to bring it on the other side. 3W, I have 3W equals 3W cubed equals 2187. 3W cubed equals 2187 centimeters cubed. This is my volume, and this is my width, okay? Divide both sides by 3. So let's see, what do we have there? So I have 729. That cancels. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times W cubed is just W cubed equals 729. If I take the cube root of W cubed equals the cube root of 729. Well, the cube root of W cubed is W. And the cube root of 729, if you don't know that, you can use your calculator. Now, let me clear that out. Math, let's see. So, math. Okay. So, on my calculator, I have a TI 84 Plus. If I hit math, that's not it. Let me hit second math. Second math. Math. Oh, I did. Okay, so if I hit math and go to the fourth one on my calculator, I get the cube root of 729. I don't need a parenthesis, hit equals, and that's 9. I should have known that. 9 times 9 is 27. No, 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 9 is 729. Okay, so it's 9. W equals 9. So that's the width is 9 centimeters. And then 6W is equal to the length. So the length is 6 times 9, which is 54 centimeters. And the height was equal to half of the width. So half of 9 is 4.5 centimeters.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Jones. I'm excited to announce the 1-year anniversary of my best-selling book, Women Who Count, honoring African American women mathematicians. Meet me on Sunday, September 13th at 2 p.m. to celebrate Women Who Count because representation matters. Stay tuned for a special panel discussion with mathematicians featured in the book, giveaways including a Katherine Johnson t-shirt, and activities from the book. Please register on Eventbrite for Women Who Count's 1-year celebration.